out here it's been only tranquilizer and fentanyl, as everybody know. A lot of the actual Narcan doesn't work for that anymore, you know, so a lot of people are dying in our hands, a lot of teenagers die in my hands.
In 2017, 48,000 people died from drug overdose. In 2021, 108,000 plus people died from overdose, over double from 2017 to 2021. And we don't have the stats for last year yet.
An opioid epidemic in the United States is only getting worse. And at the heart of this horror story lies an animal tranquilizer. It is called xylazine.
In 17, we spent $1.02 trillion on the opioid disorder. In 2017, 1.02 trillion. The administration in 2022 gave 1.5 billion for the opioid disorder. Money's not working. 100,000 people dying from excess alcohol. 108,000 dying from overdose. 200,000 people. Take that per month. How many 9/11 bombings is that per month? 4? 3,000 people died 9/11. The whole world was in uproar, right? And so they should be. You got 3 to 4 times that. 3 times that a month. In our country. Dead. We have a problem.
I want you to watch, tell us what we're seeing, and respond.
That's the scumbag piece of shit I was, bro. So don't feel like you're being judged, and certainly don't think you're gonna get a good grade. Hear me. You are getting a D- for a long time here, because I know the truth. Talk about this like hopeless. That's why I addressed you right away. You went down like this victim road right away, like, oh, those people are in pain and they're hopeless. No, that's the game you play, bro. That's the game you play with your mom. That's the game you play with everybody that runs into you on the street that has a $5 bill. That's the game we play. We use that word hopeless. Fuck hope. Hope doesn't get anybody anywhere. Act. Fuck hoping for anything anymore. Act. Execute. Go. What's hope do?
My name's Bryce Stewart. At birth, I was born 2.2 pounds at Hershey Hospital, addicted to cocaine. So when I was 17, I started IV use of heroin and fentanyl. Since starting that, I've overdosed 10 times. My life has become in straight shambles.
What's hope gonna do? It's a word you use though, because it was a hook. It was a hook for people that had money in their pocket or were soft ass people that would come up to you and be like, are you okay? I'm just hopeless. I'm just a hopeless cause. Here you go. Here's a meal. Here's this. Come on, man. Get real. Predators. You were a predator, bro. And when somebody had a soft shell, a soft any part for you, you hit them with that word hopeless, man. What I saw was a guy last night who watched a video of Kensington, just saw a video of Kensington, right? And became triggered to run. I saw it in his eyes. I watched him pull back from it. He's got to be able to get honest. These guys, we have to be able to be brutally honest with ourselves, and that's a societal issue. Like, honesty is a really tough pill to swallow. I mean, brutal honesty is hard for a lot of people because they're able to stretch the truth in the mirror. And these guys become so predatory. They become so prey-driven on people that will allow them to manipulate them. Soft people. He's not gonna change. He's not gonna change until he decides to be completely brutally honest with himself and say, you know what? I'm triggered right now. I feel like getting high. And that disgusted him. He was crying. It disgusted him that he wanted to get high, but he's gotta talk about it. He's got to face the fact that this is who he's become. And it's not the substance that's pulling him. It's the easy. It's what's behind that substance of doing absolutely nothing, facing no pressure, having no responsibilities, and saying, okay. Last thing, I'm gonna let you go. If you can get in the truth about this, then you can get in the truth that, is it the truth that you don't deserve to be there? Is it the truth that you're worth more than being under the L? You definitely are worth more than a dude that belongs down in the L shooting, having somebody shoot.
Am I worth more?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes. The answer is yes. And if you don't think that, you're lying to yourself again. Those people are worth more than that.
that's what I'm.
They're humans, dude. They're at the top of the food chain, bro. We're the top of the heap. We get imagination and feelings, and we have a soul, and we get to communicate and talk. We don't deserve to live like animals. They're living like fucking animals. So yes, you're worth more. So you got to be honest about when you're having the problems, and then you'll get honest about the truth and who you are. Otherwise, you're going to keep lying. You're going to keep bullshitting yourself. You're going to keep pretending. You have to get brutally honest about every subject in your life. Then there's growth. My name's Kevin Cobb. I'm the founder of Soul Constructors. I'm the executive director here. I'm here to help those that are lost and broken, that come from addiction, come from homelessness, come from abused backgrounds, just come from a lifestyle like mine that really was kind of loser, scumbag. I was that dad missing from my children's lives. When you're a dad that's making choices that you know is hurting, it's a level of guilt and shame that's beyond not having kids. It's a level of run, escape, screw it, I'm better off. Like, I believe that they were better off with me dead. I believe that in my whole body. And to go through it and to do what I did and to make the choices I made, like she said, it might not be like, okay, she was 5 years old and she doesn't have a lot of memory of the way I was and like my older daughter would, of the things that I did and the idiocy getting out of the car and you know, guns in my face and things like that, and but it still leaves a mark because it's just there, and it's like just so powerful when the guy that's supposed to be leading the home is leading the family into demise. There is no escaping my ownership of the rest of their life. It makes me mad at myself. It makes me angry with myself. This is harder than I thought it was going to be.
At an early age, my parents flew me down to Florida because I was on private insurance. Down there, I was introduced to patient brokers, and basically it was an insurance fraud scheme. So I would go to detox for 5 to 7 days and get paid anywhere between $2,500 and $3,500 while they ran my insurance. And then basically I'd get out of the detox, go to a hotel and use until the money ran out, and then I'd repeat the cycle all over again. I lost my insurance at age 26, so those years of my life was literally spent just going from rehab to rehab.
I've been to about seven treatment centers, psychiatric hospitals.
So how many times have you been to treatment and or jail?
Like a 30-day treatment facility would be probably 10 to 15. There's like 2 or 3 90-day facilities, a couple detoxes, like week stays.
I went to my first treatment in 2017, and then I hit my 13th treatment in 2019.
I've been to rehab in the upwards numbers of about 15 plus.
So I've been in treatment 9 times. I've been in prison 6.
If anybody watching this thinks that a 30, 60, 90-day model was going to help, you need more help than I did at that time.
So we went from a 6-month program that was sick recovery racing to a therapeutic community model like the other side of Academy, and we've mentored with them since 2018 and a half. And I figured out their model and picked up the phone and called Dave and said, okay, teach me how to do this where I can keep a student 2-3 years if I need to. And he said, that's what we do.
All right, yeah, we're getting ready to do it. I just want to know if there was any particular message you wanted delivered.
What you see us doing and what you're teaching us to become. And you know what I mean? Like, so we can show this to Pennsylvania and say, this is what Pennsylvania needs as well.
Okay.
Like what we talked about with the guys last time. You know, what you and Joseph said about, you know, like we're the guys to do it, but only based on, because we're learning from the best. Like we're learning from you.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha, buddy. Yep.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep. Bye. Okay. I've got a lot to say. So I was a drug addict for well over 27 years and spent most of my adult life going in and out of jails and prisons. If anybody watching this thinks that a 30, 60, 90-day model was going to help me, you need more help than I did at that time. One of the problems today is you get to the 30-day model and the first question they ask you is, how much money do you have? Well, if you don't have any money, go die. Now, they won't tell you go die, but the admissions counselor, whoever's there, if you don't have any money, you can't stay. When I go to a short-term program, 30, 60, or 90 days, all I'm doing is being therapized all day by a doctor, counselor, or therapist who doesn't have a clue who I am. A doctor, counselor, or therapist couldn't help me. And I know sometimes this offends people, but I remember going to doctors, counselors, and therapists while I had drugs in my pocket and I was high, and they were calling home telling my parents how great I was doing. They don't have a clue unless you've lived our life.
I used the mental health and the treatment center world as a way to make that happen. I would make a situation at home where I was getting kicked out, go to treatment, play the game with the counselors so it seemed like I was changing, and then so I could go back home and rinse and repeat. Up until here, I came to Soul with the same intention, and that's the big thing that I'm getting out of here, is because of it being so long and being people like me from the same situations, they read through my stuff, they read through the lies and the manipulation. I spent some time trying to get over on the people here, and it's just not possible. 30, 60, 90-day programs, I'm able to talk to the counselors and basically give them the feedback they're looking for, so it's like I'm changing. Here, I can't do that. It's not about my feedback. It's not about what I say. It's about my behavior.
And I always said, I was like, I'm only ever gonna just sell weed. I'll never do anything more than weed. And then once I was going up there and I was dealing with my guy, he ended up introducing me to these pills, and I was like, I'll never do a pill until the day that I did. Started doing them in my habit. I got up to doing about 20 to 25 perk 30s a day.
And let's not keep going down this. We're gonna have LT put a lot of that in the story. What the fuck do I need to know the milligrams of fucking Percocet you did for? Why are you saying it? You know why. Tell me what you're doing right now. Dakota started a story, right? And look where you're going right away. That's like the freshman way. Like, you're a new student, like, oh shit, I heard about drug use. Here's my fish story. Like, cut that shit out, man. I don't need to hear, nobody in this band needs to understand exactly what you did. So, like, you got to start catching yourself with this stuff. Like, you just took a deep dive. Did you notice it, Dakota? Like, he heard you say a little bit of it, so let me take a deeper dive. Come on, man. We don't do that here. And that we don't need to do that for the camera, because to me, that doesn't mean shit. We could all sit here for the next 6 hours, especially with these guys, and talk about how much and go into detail of how much we used. Is that going to help anybody? No.
Hi, my name is Joseph Grenning. I'm chairman of the board and co-founder of the Other Side Academy. We have people sitting on our bench here on a regular basis that have been shooting heroin for 15 or 20 years. And to suggest that putting them through a 60-day program with a little bit of outpatient support at the end is going to be effective is ludicrous. And the way we've covered up the failure of the system is by blaming the victim. What we say is that relapse is part of recovery. So the fact that the program didn't work, by definition, shows that the program works. The fact that somebody has relapsed shows that they're right on target. Well, that's absolutely insane. Where else in the healthcare system would we say that if your cancer relapses that the doctor did a good job?
A typical 30, 60, 90-day program with want to know and talk that deep into stuff. Why did you pull him up and change the conversation when he was going down on that story? Because for me, I've been doing this. I haven't gotten high in almost 15 years, right? I can feel different. I can still feel different when we start going down that road. Like, I know there's 2 other new students in here. I know how Bryce is feeling right now. Like, look at him smiling. Like it's this it starts the fucking love affair again. It starts the love affair of like talking about it, and you just kept going and going and going, and that's what's done there. That's what's done in a 30, 60, 90. They talk about you can do 30, 60, 90s and you go relapse, and before you when you come back, you go to a relapse location inside that rehab that talks about, okay, what were your triggers? What do I need to talk about the triggers for? What do I need to talk about the substance for? The substance isn't the problem. I don't want to talk because that's not the real problem. The real problem is that you all were making choices to drive to a city that you know is criminal activity, being a criminal, and running from normal life. Why the hell weren't you at work? Why the hell weren't you home taking care of your responsibilities, your child? That's the real problem. You were running to Hazleton from responsibilities. That's the real issue. You're running from pressure. It ain't about running to the drugs. The drugs are a byproduct of the real problem. And the real problem is in this mirror right here. You. And all the behaviors and the choices that go with you.
And one of the greatest challenges I think we face today in that space is that we're not willing to admit that the problem is deep and long and requires profound human change. We've defined this as a disease and believe that 60 and 90-day programs can help people who've been addicted to drugs for 10, 15, 20 years, who've been cycling in and out of prison and jail for decades sometimes. And the entire industry is broken. It's broken because the size of the solution doesn't fit the size of the problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the model is broken. And I'm here to tell you, the model is broken. And it doesn't matter what you think, the model is broken. Do you understand? When you prescribe a day for a drug addict and a criminal and say on this particular day you have to leave and you're going to be well, you need more help than I do.
We have a serious problem, and we're looking at, in my opinion, we're facing the wrong direction on how we're dealing with it. We're trying to deal with it from a medical aspect, and it's not. And we seem to have this attitude that this Suboxone, Sublocade, methadone clinic world will fix this. It won't. It's not, because it's not dealing with the behaviors. You're allowing them to continue their life not dealing with what's in the mirror. A pill will not fix this because it's behavioral.
Last year I couldn't drive a trailer to save my life. Kevin made fun of me in the front yard. I was trying to back up a hay wagon and he made fun of me for 15 minutes about backing up a trailer. Now, like, I'm backing up a 40-foot camper. Like, it's awesome. Now he can't make fun of me anymore. How long you been here?
3 months.
3 months. If you don't stay on this path, what's your alternative path?
I'd pretend for probably make it 6 months, and then I'd probably go back to being an addict. In all honesty, that's probably what would happen.
Yeah. How do you like being here?
It's a lot of fun. Difficult, sometimes stressful, in your face, but it's all with love, which is what makes this so special. And you get to do it with a bunch of guys that are just as special as myself and trying to change life.
So what'd you say, you've only been here almost a month?
Me? Yeah.
Okay.
About 33 days. And
how you liking the lifestyle change?
After yesterday, I like it a lot better. I'm more grateful about being here and really happy for my situation, you know?
Oh, all that stuff we saw in Kensington?
Yeah, it really like changed my perspective on everything, really. And me and Connor had a good talk about it last night. It was pretty good. You know, trusting the process and not putting a timeline on it. Because if I put a timeline on it, it's not gonna help me in any way. Right. So, like this trailer, for instance, I've never painted, but mean, I think I did pretty good.
It's rewarding, huh?
Yeah.
Connor, what was your conversation yesterday that you enjoyed?
Yesterday we just talked about Doug's experience down in Kensington and how it opened his eyes to like what direction life could take if we don't seize this opportunity now and decide to do something different. I have to like take the people that were there and what they said and realize like if I could be one decision away from being on the streets of Kensington. Time doesn't matter if I don't continue to change who I am and to change the liar and the manipulator in me. I could be literally one decision away from being on the streets myself.
Yeah.
So it was cool talking with Doug yesterday over Domino's about what he saw and how it hit home with him, and it seemed to make him want to avoid falling into that kind of lifestyle, which I can relate to because my journey might have been different, but there's always, no matter what you've done, there's always like deeper and darker, and I don't want to go there.
Pennsylvania has over 100,000 inmates. Do the math on that. And 70 to 80% of them are going back within a year to do more time. Okay, so do some more math with me. You take the 9 men that we have in our program right now, and the average amount of years that they've spent in county jail is 3 years, right? So you take that number and multiply that times $75,000 per year for an inmate. Our group of 9 men, Soul Constructors, has saved $2,025,000 for the 9 men that are here now. If all these guys graduate and are successful and they stay the amount of time needed to completely change their life, we've saved, with just these 9 men, over $2 million of taxpayer money. That's huge. Not to mention just the money saved with jail fees and prison fees and institution fees, but that ripple effect of what that saves in their parents, in their family, in their children, what that saves in their lives. The ripple effect is saving more, millions more.
Adam Sinclair, President Thankful.
Kevin Atwell, President Thankful. Dakota Wentz, President Thankful.
Connor Umbacher, President Thankful.
Tyler Billings, President Thankful. Matthew Malevich, President Thankful. Casey Clark, President Thankful. Douglas Davis, President Thankful. Bryce Stewart, President Thankful.
Bryce, here. Come on. Doug, Casey, Matt, Connor. Here. This call off. Okay, we do it similar to our mentor program, TOSA, but we've used the creek, we use water. But the symbolism in this is very powerful. This washing away when you walk through here is symbolic for what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. This is no joke, this is no bullshit, this is not to be taken lightly. It is a commitment to yourself, and this is commitment to your brothers. It's going to be the first commitment you ever follow through on, and you're going to follow through on it. But now it's time to take another step in this journey closer to being the human being that you were created to be, and leaving the scumbag loser behind.
My name is Bryce. I'm starting this journey of being a freshman student at Soul Constructors. My goal is to complete this program to the best of my ability. I will become the man I was born to be by being honest, being accountable, serving other students, and fully living the 12 core beliefs of this program. I am fully committed to change. I am fully committed to all of you. I am extremely thankful to execute on this opportunity.
Walking through this water, I'm washing off my past,
any resentments, and any limiting beliefs.
Today I'm moving forward as a freshman. I have complete faith in my new lifestyle, mindset, and journey.
I promise I'm leaving all my thought, my old life, everything, my old behaviors, buy into this community and what we do here.
Repeat after me. The drugs and alcohol are not the real problem.
The drugs and alcohol are not the real problem.
I was.
I was.
The drugs and alcohol are not the real problem. I was.
The
The drugs and alcohol are not the real problem.
My lying is.
My lying is.
During this next phase, I promise you all I'm leaving behind
My old lifestyle, my wannabe attitude, and any old behaviors that I was holding on to.
I'm leaving behind the lying, the manipulation, and the manufacturing what I say and do to look a certain way to everyone else. Try to create a situation where I'm perceived to be farther than I am. Just the fakeness. Trying to be someone I'm not and lead you guys or lead anyone that I interact with in a direction when I'm not doing the same thing.
There's a reason for everything we do. Everything we do at call off, everything we do at retreat, everything we do per the system in how we live. You came down here in a single file line. No smiles, no giggling, no laughing. It's serious because you don't want to go down that road. This is very serious coming here. You entered the water. You leave the same way and you have roll call. Just remember the symbolism of everything we're doing and the systematic way we're doing it for growth. There's a reason. You're not going to forget these things. I don't want you to forget these things. I don't want you to forget crossing the creek. I don't want you to forget walking down here in the dirt and the mud in a single file line and yelling out your name because it's serious. Nothing in my life back then was serious. Nothing in your life back then was serious, was it? Everything was a joke. I was a joke. I was a joke person, human, father, friend, brother, son. I was a joke. This is no joke. Take this really serious. Discuss this tonight. Hey, what was that about? Because at the retreat, you're going to understand that there's different levels of how serious this gets. And it needs to be. This needs to be a whole new way of life going forward. Roll call.
Adam Sinclair, President Thankful.
Kevin Atwell, President Thankful. Connor Wentz, President Thankful.
Connor Armbarger, President Thankful.
Matthew Malavich, President Thankful. Casey Clark, President Thankful. Tyler Billings, President Thankful. Douglas Davis, President Thankful. Bryce Stewart, President Thankful.
The dream is one location at the farm. The dream is to help 100 men at a time. The dream is to have one location of early students, of staff that live on site, of people that are graduates, that are in graduate housing, saving money, building a bank account, building relationships, cultivating relationships with, to start their own family. Like that's the true dream, that this thing runs at a high capacity with 100 students, and no matter if I'm there or not, it's the same system, it's the same success, and it's the same the whole way through. That's really the dream, is that it's way bigger than me, and it's way bigger than the effort that I'm putting in. Now, I never want to take my hands off it because it's like I love what I do, but really, the dream is for this thing to be run by the students that are here so that they have a life that I have. My life is awesome. My life is better than it's ever been. I absolutely love what I see in the mirror in the morning because of what I do, because of who I've become through this process. The dream is for these guys to run the show and to have a program that anybody can walk in the door and say, I need help. Show me how to live. Any politician or law enforcement or somebody that's in a government job that's in charge of those that are reoffending and addicted or homeless is, what I would really like to say to them is come spend some time with us. spend time with me. Give me 24, 48 hours of your time to meet these men that are here, to understand their background, that they're the people that you were seeing in front of you as a judge or a probation officer or a parole officer, and spend some time here. I want people to actually see and feel this. I want them to be able to put their hand on the pulse of this program and say, wow, like this is what these guys need. This is what the people that are homeless or reoffending or in and out of county or in and out of trouble like I was, or people that are homeless like I was. We need this program in Pennsylvania. We need a free program in Pennsylvania. We must have this, and that's what I want you to come see it. I want you to come feel it.
Get involved. They need to raise the capital to build the campus like we have here, and from there the students will do the rest. They'll offer a legacy of support and life-changing opportunity to people in Pennsylvania if you're willing to get involved now. We urge you to do so. We'd invite you to come anytime you'd like to Utah to see the model in action and to see what Pennsylvania deserves.
So Soul Recovery Academy, it is long, it is structured, it is hard, it is peer-driven. There is no money being given by the government. They generate all of their own revenue. So the minute the students get there, they are part of that solution, not the problem.
That's the vision, that's the mission, to not only save lives, but save funding to use in other areas. We are here to help not just these guys, but help Pennsylvania too. Give us a chance, come see what we do.